Okay, so we have some parsing exercises for the B section of the homework here. Let's walk through a couple of them together, and then I'll open it up for questions on these other ones. Let's look at number one first of all. We have boracht. Everybody say that with me. Boracht. All right, that means bow rocked. All right. Okay. So, what are my three root letters for this verb? Beit, resh, kaf. And what does that have to do with? Blessing. Not fleeing. That's with a chet in root 3, right? So this is blessing. Do you remember which stem it typically occurs in? The PL, okay? To bless. But if it's in the pual, it would mean to be blessed, okay? So we're going to have to pay attention to see, is this in the PL? And if it's not, maybe it's in the pual. Look at the t ending on the back side of boracht. What can you tell me what conjugation pattern this is? It's 2FS for which conjugation pattern? Perfect. Okay, remember stem is cal, nifal. Conjugation pattern, perfect, imperfect, WCI. Okay, so here, without knowing anything else about the verb, we see ta with a silent shava. That's perfect 2FS. Our parsing is almost entirely complete, isn't it? I need to know which stem it is. Where am I going to look for that? I want to look at the vowel with root 1. Okay, what vowel class is holum? That is U class. Which stems take a U class vowel in their perfect conjugation in root 1? The pual. And are there any other stems that have a U class vowel under root 1 and they're perfect? The answer would be nay. Okay? But for fun, let's just double check. So here we're just looking under root 1 in the perfect. Look at the cal. Is that, what vowel class is that? Under the pay, under root 1? That's A class, right? Under the nifal, root 1, that's a silent shava. PL, that's I class. Pual, that's U class, right? Good. Hithpael, just for fun, that's A class. And then to the hifil and hofal, what's under root 1? These are silent shavas, aren't they? Okay, so under root 1, the only place I ever see a U-class vowel in the perfect is the pual. Now, which U-class vowel do I normally see under strong verb? That's a kibbutz, right? Is there a reason that I don't see a kibbutz in my homework exercise? Ideally, I'd see a kibbutz and a dagesh forte in root 2. Can resh take one? Nope. And so the short kibbutz has compensatorily lengthened to make up for the loss of dagesh forte. And that's why I have the holum, which is still U class, okay? So the class is right, even if the vowel itself is not the same. So I've got this parsed. Pual perfect 2FS. So how am I going to translate this? Active or passive? It's passive. You, what? You were blessed. You were blessed. Okay? Got it? All right. Look at number 2 real quickly. I have mva'arim. Say that with me. Excellent. What are my 3 root letters for this verb? Beit, ayin, resh. Okay, this is one of my new verbs. That means I have a mem prefix and eem on the back side. Which verbal forms take a mem prefix? Participles. Which participles have a prefix mem? All but cal and nifal. Okay, all but cal and nifal. In fact, we hadn't talked about this, but you know how in the alphabet we have, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, right? M, N. Mem and nun. Mem and nun are my prefixes that go with participles, aren't they, in Hebrew? The nifal participle has a nun. Everything else has a mem. and then the cal's the only one then that doesn't have any prefix for its participle. So maybe that'll help you remember it. M and end, okay? Now, if the participle has eem on the end, then it's what gender number? Masculine plural, good. So again, if you're looking on the outer boundaries at the prefixes and suffixes, you can usually get almost all your parsing done. The only thing that is left is to determine the stem, and I have to look at the vowel pointing to see that. So, which stems take vocal shavas under the participles prefix mem? What kind of stems get a vocal shava here? There's only two, PL and pual. And then how do I tell the difference between them? I look to root 1, and that's an A, so that's PL. Good. So there you go. It's a PL participle masculine plural. Now, you didn't even have to think about the fact that PLs normally have doubling in root 2, and the IN doesn't allow for that, right? That is the case, but you didn't even have to think about that in order to parse this properly, did you? All right, but notice that the IN will reject the Dagesh forte. What are my two strategies for dealing with rejecting Dagesh forte? I could get compensatory lengthening of the preceding vowel, or the vowel stays short, and what happens to the guttural? It's virtually doubled. And here, IN is one of the virtually doubling kind of gutturals. It's pretending like it's doubled, but you just can't put a dot there. All right? If you tried to put a dot there, something would mysteriously prevent your pencil from hitting your paper. Okay? It just can't be done. All right. Now, what does this verb mean in the PL? To burn, kindle, consume, right? So how would I translate this since the PLs are active? Participle, yeah, use the ing form, burning. Oops, that's burring. No, we don't want burring. We want burning, burning, consuming, kindling. Usually with an object, right? So if I had something like Moshe, actually I can't say Moshe because he's singular. Moshe the, boy, can't think of a short, here, Shaul. Okay, Shaul. So Moses and Saul, Muva'arim. How would I translate that? Moses and Saul are burning, and I'm going to want a direct object after this, right? Moses and Saul are burning marshmallows. How would we say that in Hebrew? Marshmalim. I don't know. Okay. Look at number 3. Everybody, shulakti. Shulakti. What are my 3 root letters for shulakti? Shin, Lamed, Chet. Good. So 1, 2, 3. What's on the backside? T. We can almost parse the whole verb knowing that, can't we? What is that? Perfect 1CS. That can't be anything else, huh? Perfect 1CS. Now, I got to know the stem, though. What do I look for here? Got to look at the vowel pointing. What's in root 2? Doubling dot. What does that commit me to? PL pual. All right. And then I look at the root 1 vowel. That's kibbutz. That's pual, right? Good. So we got it. So what does shalach mean? In the cal, it's to send. PL. Yeah, to set free, to send away, or to divorce. That's PL. That's active. And then the pual makes it passive. Okay? So how would I translate this? Perfect will usually be past, and pual will make it passive. I was divorced or sent away. Okay? That kind of notion. All right. Number 4, there's the one I was talking about a little earlier. Ha-nifla'ot, everybody. When we went through the vocab list, we saw pala, one of our new verbs, and it occurs in the nifal. So look at the noon prefix. Does that look like a nifal noon? Yes. You might think to yourself, well, maybe that's a first common plural prefix noon. Maybe. But if so, what would we do with ot at the end? Would that make sense to have a first common plural prefix and oath at the end? Nope. When I have a noon prefix for 1CP, it's either noon with nothing or noon with a comet's hay, right? If it's noon with nothing, it's just the imperfect 1CP. Noon with comet's hay, it's cohortative 1CP. Okay? But here it's noon with oath. So that can't be the 1CP prefix. It's got to be the nifal. Noon. And then I have a long A under the root 2. And that tells me it's a participle, right? You remember that? Nifal participles have both the noon prefix and the irreducibly long comets under root 2. And the oath tells me it's what gender and number? Feminine plural. All right, so I've got that parsed. It's the what? The wonderful things, which are feminine plural, or the wonderful women, if it's not things, but literally people who are feminine, right? Or the wonders, the wonderful things that someone does. Okay, great. I'll stop with those as far as going through these myself of my own volition or choice. But what about you guys? Do y'all have any of these that you want to work through? Number 5 is Sanethi. Sanethi. Look at the root letters Sin, Nun, and Aleph here. That's a verb that you learned, I think, a few chapters ago. What does it mean? To hate. Okay, to hate. Now, I've got the T ending here on the other side of root 3. So you can go ahead and tell me that this is the perfect 1CS, right? You know that much. Look at the A-class vowel under root 1. If this is a perfect, then I have no prefixing before root 1. How many stems have a perfect with no prefix? 3 of them. What are they? The cal, the pl, the pual, right? What's the vowel? What vowel class is the cal going to get under root 1? A class. The pl gets I class, the pual gets U class. So this is easy, isn't it? This is a cal perfect 1CS. Okay. The one thing that's a little bit unusual here is the sere, perhaps, but this is a stative verb, and stative verbs will frequently get a sere theme vowel for the cal perfect 3ms, the basic form. So that's the situation here. And then because the aleph has quiesced, the sere actually is the vowel coming right up to the tav, and the dagesh lene goes out. Okay? So it's sanethi. So I'm going to translate this as I hate or I hated, because stative verbs in the perfect could be past or present depending on the context. So that's it there. All right.
What about number 6?
Number 6. Yep. Let's look at that one real quickly. So I have avaracha. Here's my root letters, barach, which has to do with to bless. And I have a prefix aleph and a comet's hay. Can you tell what conjugation pattern that is? Yeah, that's looking like cohortative first common singular, right? Just by looking at your prefixes and suffixes, we figured most of that out. But what stem is it? What stem? Well, is it the cal? What kind of shava is this under the prefix? That's a compound shava, which is a kind of vocal shava, right? So which stems get vocal shavas under their nutty prefixes? PL and Puol. That's right. Which one of those stems gets an A-class vowel under root 1? The PL does. The PL. So this is a PL cohortative 1CS. Barach in the PL means to bless. So how would I translate this? Let me bless. Or may I bless. So you see how that works? Okay.